what's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another episode of the not Young Guns, just chilling. Got the two podcasts mixed up there for a second, and why isn't this mic being censored? There it is, way better. Shout out to we already got a couple people in the chat. Nova Nebula, football talk with Benny. Benny, what's up, man? How you doing? Camel in the chat. Yuvraj in the chat. Benny, it's been a minute. But you're right, long time no see. But the Giants are winning, and that's what matters. Jamar Wilson in there as well. I do want to give a quick moment to Mike Nixon. Mike, I see the member chat, man. First and foremost, are you okay? Are you good? Are you healthy? Let me know what's up with it. I'm so sad you had to go through that. What exactly happened there, and what can you do to prevent it in the future? But wishing you the best in that, man. Toast in the chat as well. And Mike, I know I have not really been in the Discord like that. You already know the reason. But I'll try and definitely hit you up a little bit in the Discord for sure. Guys, as you're popping in, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, hit that share button most importantly to get everybody else all in here. Jamar says, I told y'all pigeons were not staying undefeated. You know what? And Super Taj, Eric in here as well. You told them, nah. I told y'all. I've been saying since week 5, and I mean week 5 of the season. This is when we were 4-1. This was after we beat the Packers, and the Eagles were still, I think they were still 5-0 or 6-0, whatever the case is, man. They were still undefeated. I said, and I got called crazy, that we still have a shot at getting the first seed in the NFC East, and thus a first seed in not only the NFC, but the NFL, like the first best record in the NFL. And I said the Eagles are not going to stay undefeated. They're a fraudulent team. Fraudulent in the sense that I don't think they're built like an undefeated team in the NFL, like the New England Patriots of 2007, and only they were undefeated for so long, or like the 72 Dolphins. You saw in several games that the Eagles could be beat, and I said that for like 3-4 weeks straight. This Eagles team can be beat. Somebody just has to go in there and take advantage of the situation and do it. Did I expect Washington to be the team that do that? Absolutely not. But it remains that I said they were going to be undefeated. They're undefeated, and now all of a sudden the Giants are one game out of first place, and everybody is saying the Giants can get first place. But I told y'all since week 5. Week 5, I told y'all since then. I reiterated it 2 weeks ago on the Young Guns podcast when I was talking about I still think the Giants have a chance. So I said it in week 5 when it was close. We were one game out. I said it 2 weeks ago when we were 2 games out. And now we're back to being one game out. And I'm telling you, the schedule not only gets more difficult for us as Giants fans and for our team, the New York Giants, but it gets more difficult for the Eagles as well, because with this Washington defeat now, they have Dallas coming up very soon, and I do think Dallas can beat them. They got Tennessee, who, you know what, if Washington can beat them and Tennessee is playing way better at this point in the season than they were at the beginning, it's not out of the cards that maybe Tennessee catch them slipping or something of that sort. But we got our games to worry about as well. You know, we have the Lions coming up this week, and this will be the second and probably final game that I'm attending in person. Attended the Bear games earlier this year. For the Lions, my friend is taking me to this one. Gonna hope that my luck continues. That luck being I've only seen one loss for the Giants, and I don't even count it as a loss because it was at the end of the year when our fate was already decided. There was no point in winning that game anyway, so I don't even count that. Only seen W's when I've attended Giants games. Gonna hope that we come out with another W here. We improve to 8-2, and then we have the most important game of the season so far is going to be Thanksgiving. The Giants play on Thanksgiving Day for the first time in a very, very long time against the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's the 4:30 p.m. game that Thursday. And it's just a slew of divisional games after that. So we'll see how we fare from there. Let me get some of the chat. Todd says, anybody can be beaten in the game. Completely true. Nova says, I don't think anybody actually thought the Eagles would go undefeated. Eagles fans certainly did. Duran says, Philly ain't nothing without Brown. You talking about AJ? Last time I checked, AJ Brown was playing in that game. He just did not have much of an impact. Eric said, did the Eagles beat Washington Commanders the first time they played them with Carson Wentz playing? Did the Eagles play Washington already? Let me double check. Let's see. Eagles schedule. But this was the first time Heineke played them this year, so Heineke was the one that ended up beating them. Let's see. Yeah, they played Washington back in September, and they blew them out. Let's see here. Camel says they're not invincible any given Sunday. You're right, Taj. If they had Carson Wentz, they would have gotten blown out. There's something about Taylor Heineke. He's not a franchise QB for sure. I don't think he is. But something about him, we saw it in 2020 because he was the same quarterback that helped them take down at the time the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. And we saw it in the playoffs. He put up a good fight. He's just a quarterback that doesn't give up. You know, he's not going to take them anywhere, but he just doesn't give up. And I don't think they get that win if Carson Wentz is the quarterback there instead of Taylor Heineke. So that's definitely something interesting to keep in mind. And shout out to Nate in the chat as well, guys. The call-in link is pinned. Let me get the first caller on. It is a member, good friend. Shout out to him. Mike, what's up, man? How you doing? First and foremost, how you doing, bro? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm recovering.
You good? What happened?
Man, I just need to start watching. Take better care of what I'm eating.
For sure, man.
For sure. And you know what? After this episode, I've learned my lesson.
What's your doctor tell you to change up your diet to?
Low fat.
Start eating some steamed vegetables. I've been starting eating some steamed vegetables as well.
I mean, I already did that, but it's like me with my guilty pleasures, fried food, bro. And who isn't a guilty pleasure for?
It's just all about getting the discipline and the frequency of doing it.
Yeah.
But
so instead of having a cheeseburger every day, maybe I'll have a cheeseburger once every 3 months.
That is definitely a lot healthier, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some positives, though. The 7-2 Giants and the Eagles going down and the Cowboys going down this weekend.
I know. Man, it feels good. We're inching closer to the Eagles.
And I mean, we've always been right there. 2 games, like I said, I've been saying it since week 5. 2 games was never a mountain to overcome for me. It's just once the Eagles show that they could be beat, and Washington finally proved to the rest of the league that they can be beat, I feel like the mystique of being that undefeated team is obviously gone. Like, that plays like a psychological part in the game with the opposing team. That's
you
gone.
know what? I'm gonna go bold and say the coach will beat the Eagles this week.
That's definitely very bold. I don't know about that one.
A new head coach. I mean, all the players seem to play for that coach, and they got the win.
So
it's
the Colts. I don't know. Let me check the Eagles schedule. I don't think the Colts would be a team that beat them. Looking at this here, they got the Colts coming up. I can see the Packers beating them for sure. The Packers, I'm not sure if they got their groove back or if that's just Aaron Rodgers. Classic Aaron Rodgers. He always plays his best football against the Cowboys. But I definitely think the Packers have a good shot. And like I said earlier, the Titans as well. So they got 2 games that I'm keeping my eye on where I'm like, they could drop another one there.
I mean, I'm just saying, Indianapolis can be won because the way I saw bits and pieces and highlights of the Colts game this week, and the way that Jonathan Taylor was running,
and that's what shout out to Durant is bringing up in the chat. Taylor could run wild, and the Eagles run defense looked atrocious against Washington. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just taking the season one game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Giants, I mean, at this point, we should make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Can anybody in chat tell me at what point is it? Do we just clinch a playoff spot? Like when? Remember that used to happen. Like, do they still do that? I feel like they still do. Right? Is it
They
still too early in the season?
still do that, but I believe it's like week 13, week 14, people will start to be clinching
Mm-hmm.
them.
All right, Nays, let me know it's way early. All right, I'm just asking. 7-1 team, I think that'd be enough, but we'll see. I guess we do have like
Well,
8-9 games left.
well,
I guess.
there was the one year that the Chargers, I believe, had 11 wins and did not make the playoffs.
Was that the 2009 season where they had also like the best ranked offense and best ranked defense in the league and they didn't make the playoffs?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I mean, I'm just so happy to see Saquon finally having fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And
And to an extent, Darius Slayton, if you caught
yeah,
the highlights that the Giants put up on their channel.
I have to watch it, but you can tell me.
Oh yeah, man. Darius obviously was having fun on sideline because he had a good game and he deserves a good amount of credit for helping us even
Mm-hmm.
win this game against Houston. And each week that passes by, I'm thinking more and more, man, we should target Darius a little bit more. We should
Yeah.
get him involved a little bit more. He seems to be really, for the fourth year in a row, our best wide receiver. What was I gonna say?
I'm
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
getting my hope. I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I'm not,
But
and
I'm
and I
not.
see Jamar saying I'm not sold on Slay. No, I'm not talking about him as a wide receiver
No,
one or
no,
anything. I'm just
no,
stating facts.
no, 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 no,
He's
no.
been our best wide receiver the past 4 years. It's
I'm
that he's like a wide receiver 2 or 3, but he's been our best wide receiver in the past 4
I'm
years.
going. I'm going on a different route here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on the different route. Now, we're for sure gonna get rid of Galladay after this season, but it would not surprise me if he has a big game against his former team this week.
Kenny? Nah. This ain't no Kenny Galladay revenge game, bro. This is the Detroit Lions thank you game for the New York Giants. I don't think this is any type of Kenny Galladay revenge game. I think Galladay is done. Shout out to Flex Lopez in the chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Galladay is done. It's sad. I wanted it to work out. Everybody wanted it to work out. After Tony got traded, I wanted it to work out even more. I think it's just done. Isaiah Hodgins, let's keep it real. The man not only looks like Galladay on the field because of number and the way he's built.
Yeah.
But like the catches he made, I'm not gonna say he plays like Galladay, but the catches he made, I'm like, those are the catches Kenny Galladay should have been making. Like they literally benched Galladay for Hodgins in the second half. So I mean,
yeah,
Galladay is done, bro. I'm gonna be thoroughly surprised if he has any type of a good game against the Lions. But like I said, this ain't no Kenny Galladay revenge game in my opinion. This is the Detroit Lions thank you game.
Yeah. Now, earlier in the off season, I predicted this game as a game we could lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you tell me right now, I might be still leaning towards that.
For Lions? The Lions
Yeah.
are a streaky team. That's what it is. I think because they're a team that can easily just out of nowhere score 30 to 40 points. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and check the offensive average offensive score per game for the NFL so far.
Mm-hmm.
NFL leading offenses, and I want to see if we've played any team that's really scored like this. Where's points per game? That's what I'm gonna sort by. I'm on ESPN. Um, Seattle and the Ravens actually are top 5. We beat the
Mm-hmm.
Ravens, and they're top 4 in scoring, but we lost to Seattle, and it wasn't like that was too much of a blowout. And then Detroit
Yeah.
is a couple pegs below them. So the thing is though, Detroit, like I said, they're averaging 24 points a game, but they're a team that could very easily score like 30 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see what happens. If that's what you're worried
Yeah.
about, I agree with you.
Definitely worried about that. Man.
Let me ask you something then before I pop you out, and this is also gonna be for the chat. Did y'all do your Pro Bowl voting yet? Do you see the 2 players on the screen right now, chat? Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence.
I am not, but
I already today. I voted 6 times today. I'm gonna vote 6 times tomorrow, and 6 times the day after that, because they allow unlimited voting. I swear to God, if we don't have a certain amount and set of Giants players in the Pro Bowl, specifically Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Adoree Jackson for sure, Saquon Barkley without a doubt. Toss in Leonard Williams there, toss in Julian Love there. Like, if those 5-6 players don't get in, I'm blaming y'all. I'm blaming you guys.
I got it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I got you.
I'm just saying, like, you could vote as many times as you want to. There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah. And to know that it's unlimited voting, I'll be sure to get my voting in tomorrow.
Got you. As long as you get it in at some point. Yeah. I should write a script, like a software script that just continuously spams votes for Giants players. I want to see how much I can get. Shout out to G-Man. He says he already voted. That's what's up, man. Super Taj voted, and he put in Daniel Jones in there. That's why Ingram was, or part of the reason why Ingram was a Pro Bowler in 2020 was because, you're allowed to vote a lot of times, but also because Robert Tonyan got injured. But, Mike, let me get your last thought before I pop you out, man.
It was good to talk to you, as always. And, I mean, we'll keep in touch, whether it's on, like,
I'll try and make some time, man. But you know how life is sometimes.
Yeah, even if I just message you on Twitter or something. I'll. Yeah, we need to keep in connects with each other. Now we're doing.
For sure, man. I'm be honest with you. I'm so sorry. I had to find out through stream, man.
Right. It's all good. Bro, today was the only time I was even on my phone.
Mike, you know what you gotta do, man. You gotta start eating those greens, bro. Drink a lot of water too. Yo, water helps.
Yeah.
Drink like a gallon a day. I'm serious. Drink like a gallon of water a day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, I'll catch you later, though, bro.
All right, bro.
Have a good one. Next up, we got Nate. And Nate, you got time to be on as usual, or you just got time to call in once? Oh, it sounds like your mic is not working.
Mic is working. I'm just an idiot. But yeah, listen. I remember a few weeks ago you got on me because I was missing my responsibilities as the unofficial co-host. So I'm here.
Word.
All right, I'm back. I'm in the role.
I still need the secret to that beard. You just not gonna give it to me.
It's coming in good. It's coming in good.
It's coming in nice and fluffy.
Yeah, it's looking nice. It's looking nice.
Yeah. Here we sit, man. 1 game away from first place. They called me a madman.
I do love it. I said this on Twitter, and I keep saying it to all my Eagles fan friends. And yes, believe it or not, I do have a few of them. I know it's a wild thing to have, but even if we don't win the division, I love that we're breathing down the Eagles' necks, one game back. Just know, this division ain't yours yet. You gotta earn it. It ain't free.
Man, even the commies, bro. And I don't even them are on, I think it's a 2 or 3 game win streak. All of a sudden, they're 500 again. And like I said, you could look at the Eagles schedule, the Cowboys schedule, our schedule. Within the next 3 weeks, I'm not saying it's going to happen, knock on wood. Don't sleep on anybody. The entire division could be flipped upside down. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a year in the NFL where anybody can beat anybody. There's nothing set in stone. The NFL is one giant pile of mid. So I think if we're looking at this division, the commies are a game behind Dallas, who's a game behind us, who's a game behind the Eagles.
Yeah, it's 8-7-6-5, right?
Yeah, no one's out of it. So at this point, there's a little less than half the year to go left. A lot of football left to be played. We'll see how it goes.
Let me see these comments here. Taj says, what we got to do is keep their offense off the field in regards to Detroit, and that's responding specifically to Jamar, where he said, Detroit is not to be slept on. Don't let their record fool you. Nobody on our schedule is to be slept on. Even the Colts, like Mike Nixon was saying, just a couple minutes ago, the Colts under Mr. Jeff Saturday seem a little bit different. So don't sleep on anybody, man.
You mean greatest NFL head coach of all time, Jeff Saturday?
The only NFL head coach in NFL history to tweet that a team looks terrible and 2 weeks later beat that team.
That's some kind of swagger right there, honestly.
Yeah. Listen, if Jeff Saturday somehow, what is the Colts record right now? 3-6 or something like that, or 2-7,
bad.
right?
Something real bad.
If they somehow end up even close, and I mean even close to 500 by the end of the season, yo, that Colts owner got my respect. I don't know what to say, man.
Jim Irsay? Yeah, I mean he's Irsay. You know, he's always going to be the way he is. He always has been, always will be.
Well, let's talk about this Lions team.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to keep going through the comments. My bad. Yeah, the Lions, they're not as bad as their record. And I do think the Lions are in a stage of their rebuild where they have quite a while to go, but they do have some talent on that team. It's not like last year or the year before when the Lions were just empty. They had nothing on that team, and I mean nothing. But they have some talent now. They've accumulated some good players. They have some good young talent. It is one of the youngest teams in the NFL, just by the numbers. They have a lot of rookies starting. They have rookies at every level of the defense starting. There's a lot of youth on this team, but a lot of talent on this team. Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously looks very good as a young receiver. He's got a good career in front of him. DeAndre Swift, still one of the better young backs in the NFL. And they still have a very strong offensive line, just entirely left to right. Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Logan Stenberg, and Penei Sewell. That's one of the stronger offensive lines.
I was going to say, I don't even know if underrated is the right word, because coming into the season, I thought they were like a top 10, potential top 5 unit. It's just that the team is bad, so they don't get recognition.
Yeah, I mean, they've been top 5 in the offensive line category for the last 2 years for me. I mean, I think when you look at what they have across the board, it's not just that they have the high-end talent in Ragnow and Sewell, which is very good, but it's the fact that they're solid and they play well together as a unit, which is obviously very important for an offensive line. So that's a very big strength for that team. And on the defense, again, they're struggling this year, but they do have talent. And as the season goes on, that talent does sometimes mesh together, and we're not playing them in week 1. We're not playing them in week 2. They've got a couple of really solid young players. Jeff Okudah is starting to show that potential he had at Ohio State. You know, the linebackers are scrappy. They've got some good players on the defensive line. I'm sure you remember Alan McNeil when he was coming out of defensive tackle. He was one of the underrated prospects. Big Pat Sports Talk loved McNeil. I liked him as well. Aiden Hutchinson was my boy for quite a while coming out of Michigan, and he's having a quiet rookie season, but not a bad rookie season. So
similar to Thibodeau. Thibodeau's having a quiet rookie season, but not a bad rookie season.
We can't sleep on that team. That's not an automatic win.
Well, definitely not. And you bring up a couple players on the defense, but that's most definitely where we're going to have to exploit, because their defense is still bad as a unit.
Yeah, I think if we are looking to exploit their defense, and that's a wild sentence to say for a Giants fan right now, considering where we're at
our
offense
is.
Yeah. It's really just going to have to be on the ground. And I know that sounds like a broken record, but if we're going to take advantage of anything, it's going to have to be the young guys in the linebacker core and the weakness of a guy like Alex Anzalone, who is a decent linebacker, but not a guy that you're afraid to run at. So we're going to have to win on the edges, and we're going to have to establish the run with Saquon. And once we do that, I'm not afraid of establishing play action off that.
And this is where, and I'm glad Saquon had a game where it's like he was a legit bell cow. I've kind of always inside me want to see that from him. But this is where I've been saying for almost half the season now. You notice, can we start using Matt Breida to establish the run? Because I don't want to say, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to Saquon to have 35 runs every single game where it's like a game we just have to establish it on the ground. Get a very capable backup running back involved. And I don't know why that isn't being done. Like, you got any thought process as to why that isn't being done? Because he seems good whenever he gets the ball, too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the Giants, and when you're looking at a lot of things with this team, there's a lot of questions you can ask. They're going to have the same answer from me, which is they could potentially have a good result with something else, but they're trying to do what they know will lead to their best chance of winning. They could get something good out of giving Breida more carries, but at the end of the day, they know that the best chance of us winning football games is with Saquon Barkley getting the ball as much and as often as possible. And that's the same reason I don't think we were passing as much as a lot of us would have liked to on Sunday, in the sense
we didn't pass at all in the fourth quarter. I saw that just like stat a couple hours ago.
In the sense that I think the very likely reason for that is we're looking at Daniel Jones and we're seeing, yes, it's going well through the air so far, but we're in a position where even if that may benefit us to try more, it's not really worth the risk when we know if we just keep grinding it out and keep running with Saquon, it may be an ugly win, but we know we have a damn good chance to win this game. And honestly, I respect the fact that the coaching staff is doing what's going to lead to wins. So I think eventually we will see things balance out again, but for now, we're going to win football games.
And let me get back to the chat now, reading all the way up till we got some score predictions in here. First question was from Taj. He says, how long have you been growing that beard, Nate?
I have been growing this now about 2 months, I think.
See what I'm saying, bro? Like,
I think about 2 months.
Mine cannot get that full. This is crazy. David, what's up, man? He says, hi, guys. Sarju says, people need to stop talking about bringing OBJ back. Listen. And you listen here, bro. That man, if he comes here, do you know the things that I would do on this channel? Do you know the things that I would do to just have him back on this team? And now you got reports from his quote-unquote high school coach. I don't know if these reports are valid or not, that he's basically down between the Cowboys and Giants, and he's leaning the Giants. All I'm saying, Jabrin, because that's the first name, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is nobody's, like, gonna force him to come here. Nobody's saying to spend millions of dollars for him to come here. If he comes here, y'all realize he's gonna play less than, like, half a season? That contract ain't gonna be deep, at least for this year. We could work something out. That's all I'm saying. Nate, you saying anything?
I am saying, Giants fans, let's hope. Let's hope. Let's not expect, but let's hope. Okay? I hope we can get Odell Beckham Jr. on this team again. I hope we can. It would be awesome. It would be huge for us. But I don't want to expect us to get Odell, because there's a very real chance we don't. And if we don't, and we expect
I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
So bad.
And
it's
Nate,
gonna hurt so bad.
Nate, I think this is already a thought in your mind, bro. That Giants Cowboys Thanksgiving name is the Odell Beckham Jr. Bowl. I'm just letting you know. Just putting that out there.
I think you're right. I think you very well could be right. If for some reason he doesn't sign before then, which he might, then that really will be the OBJ Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing football till December, man, and that's only better for his recovery anyway. Ligma says OBJ is coming home. Nova says the Colts are a tie away from 500. Are you serious? A tie away from 500?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow, the Colts are actually a little bit better than I expected record-wise. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Chinegs says Giants 31, Lions 24. That would be the first time in over 2 years that the Giants scored 30 or more, so I would be glad to see that. Manny, what's up, man? How you doing? He says, I predict 2 sacks for Kayvon versus the Lions. And initially, when my friend got me these tickets, like, this was back in the summer, the only reason, this was before I thought the Giants would be 7-2, the only reason I wanted to see that game is because I wanted to see 2 of my favorite defensive line prospects play, and that was Kayvon and Aiden Hutchinson on the same field. And then you got Kayvon potentially going up against Sewell, or maybe they rematch him up against the right tackle, and you have Andrew Thomas going up against Aiden. So, like, that would have just been really, really nice for me to see in person. Camel says all of our rookies would be starting or contributing if they were healthy. We do have a good amount of young players injured. Vets, what's up, man? How you doing? David says Giants 23, Lions 20. Ligma says Giants 23, Lions 6. No cap. He adds a no cap at the end. Flex says Giants 25, Lions 18. Those are quite a bit of score ranges there. I'm not going to say any score predictions just yet. Shout out to Alex and Big Luna Bronx in the chat, and R0B. What's up, guys? How you doing?
How y'all doing?
Rob, I got you in a few. I just got a couple callers I got to get on first, and one of them I'll pop on right now. It's Nova. What up, man? How you doing?
Yo, what up, Kush? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
All right. I'm chilling. I don't got my camera on, so I'm kind of doing stuff on my computer. But anyways. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got a lot of thoughts about just where the Giants stand right now at this point in the season. The Detroit game scares the shit out of me, not gonna lie. But I'm not saying like it's a game obviously they can't win, but yeah, I don't know. Like the division's getting interesting now. The whole thing with the Eagles. I don't know. I guess I kind of have like a different perspective on it. Maybe some fans are like gonna hate it, but I guess like the vital question would be not even about winning the division, but just for them having the ability to make the playoffs. Do you feel like it's gonna be necessary for the Giants to sweep Washington to get in at this point?
To just get into the playoffs? No, I don't think we got to sweep Washington. I think we want to sweep Washington if we want to maintain second or try to get first place. But to get into the playoffs, I don't think we got to sweep them. What do you say, Nate?
I think it would certainly be helpful. I think we are going to need all the wins we can get. So if we could sweep Washington, that would go a long way. But I tend to agree with Kush. I don't necessarily think we have to. I think we do absolutely have to get one win off Washington, which I'm sure we will. If we want a chance at the division, yes, we have to sweep Washington.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris in the chat. What up, Chris? How you doing? Stand up.
What's up, Chris?
What's up?
Go ahead, Nova.
Yeah, nah, because it's just again, it's not just the fact. Because here's the thing too, like Washington is another team where it's like, I feel like they're a little better than people are probably giving them credit for. And I know obviously they're kind of like on the spotlight now because they just beat the big bad undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. But it's like even now, like that was their fourth win in their last 5 games, and then
and it's a 3-game win streak, right? So like they're a little bit on a hot streak too.
I think they're coming off. They lost last week, I believe.
Did they lose
the week before? Yeah, I think they lost last week to
Gotcha.
Minnesota, but they played Minnesota extremely tough. They were like really close.
Yes, you're right. They had a lead against Minnesota, and then they choked.
Yeah, I kind of watched that game though, like a good amount of it, and they were kind of lucky to even get up on them. Like they had this one huge touchdown that should have been a pick. It was a horrible throw by Taylor Heineke. He threw into triple coverage, and the ref got in the way of the Minnesota defender that was gonna knock it down. And then it ended up just being like a touchdown on a really weird play. But even still, like just the fact that they hung in with Minnesota, and then they were literally a goal line interception away from beating Tennessee. And I still think Tennessee is a really formidable opponent, a pretty stout team. So I don't think Washington is as bad. Like it's one of those things, but like the Giants this season, where it's just like, sometimes I can feel so high on them at times, and then like there's other times where I just see things and it's like, oh my god, this team can be just completely have the floor mopped with them by like anybody. Like it's ridiculous. And the main thing too is like, obviously we know we have like all the dysfunction that we do on offense for a plethora of reasons at this point, but it's like the defense, like I think the defense is very sound and extremely stout, but like you see me rant about it like when I'm in your live chats. It's like the thing that kills me is that they still have like a propensity to give up so many like big plays so frequently. Like it'll be like play after play, and it's like, oh my goodness, like can they just like get a good stop? It doesn't have to come down to a heart attack all the time where we're like relying on red zone turnovers, because we're not gonna get those every game and against every team. You know what I mean? So it's just like. I think about, again, which is why, like, just this upcoming game against Detroit, where, like, Yeah, and I know a lot of people are already overlooking the Lions, but it's like they have an offense that can really like light up anybody really, and it's like it's gonna be one of those games where like again if the Giants want to decide to be really conservative and just have a sloppy first half on offense, and then not go for a 2-minute drive or whatever, and like be content taking 7 points at a half or whatever. It's like I don't think that's gonna be good enough to beat a Lions team if the Lions start getting hot and like put up 17 or 20 points like even in the first half, because they can do that. Like it's just I don't know. This game kind of scares me. I guess I would have to see it. It's gonna be one of those things where like I guess I will have like sort of a feel for the game on the first few drives. Like if it's a thing where like the defense can get like some pressure on Jared Goff, that's the main thing. If they can get pressure on Goff, I think they have a good chance of winning the game. But it's
like
just
we said earlier, that line is a top 5 line, so it's not going to be easy.
They have a really good line, exactly. So it isn't going to be easy. And they the Giants too so far this season, it's their run defense has been so weird because I mean I know a lot of us say it's bad, but like to me I don't
the run
think it's
defense has
terrible.
been kind of like the rest of the team. If you actually look at all of our stats, I think we're middle of the pack on like almost every single statistic, offensively and defensively. Super Taj just let me know Alex Bachman signed with the Texans. Man, I don't know why we didn't keep him. We could have definitely used him. There has to be something else there.
We got the GOAT Hodgins.
Yeah, we got Isaiah Hodgins, so that's what's
I
up.
done told y'all that Isaiah Hodgins was gonna get in this.
You
game
did.
soon.
I was saying that too because Dable. I noticed it right away when they signed him. Like they instantly put him on the active roster, and then Dable was immediately.
And that man was only in 3 Giants practices, and he had a good impact, yo. Like, I want to see what he does in the future for sure. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's gonna have to wait till after the Kenny Golladay revenge game, but
oh god,
the Detroit Lions thank you game. We need to rename this. This is not the Kenny Golladay revenge game. This is the Detroit Lions thank you game. All right.
Bro, Golladay, man.
I can't handle these jokes.
They let Golladay walk and immediately got Amon-Ra St. Brown, bro. Like how?
It's
how
so
does that
sad
happen?
too because if Golladay can play even like he did even last season, it would help us so much.
I really don't care,
He wasn't even this
man.
bad last season. I know he wasn't great by any standards,
crazy?
But it's like
I don't think I've been this apathetic. Like I don't think I've cared this less about a player ever.
He's just out. He's emotionally checked out.
Yeah, like I really don't care what happens with Kenny Golladay, yo. It's just I just know he has to be here for the rest of the season, and then he's
I care. I care because I want to see us handle this correctly, which is to say, cutting him in the offseason.
I guess that's as far as I care, but yeah,
that's inevitable at this point.
Also, Chris, it was your birthday, bro. Happy birthday! I didn't know.
Hey, no, that was a couple days ago, wasn't it? Or was it yesterday?
He says he was killing it in Flip Cup. And David L., you cannot vote for All Pro. That is not something that fans can vote for. No. You can vote for the Pro Bowl, though. And I will put the link back in the chat because I told y'all, if we don't get our players making the Pro Bowl, I'm blaming you guys specifically because I
he can actually vote for All Pro. All he needs to do is become a member of the Writers Association. That's all he's got to do. It'll be good.
I was going to say, though, in regards to the Detroit game, yeah, like it's not something I'm sleeping on, but Detroit is a worse team than us. Like at the end of the day,
they are. Yeah,
I feel like we've been beating the teams that are worse than us every single time we matched up against them. And Seattle is probably the only team you could argue, but even going up against Seattle, like the week before we were talking, we're like, Seattle's an evenly matched team with us. They're not necessarily worse than we are. We've been doing what a good team, bare minimum, a good team should do, and that's just smack the bad teams, or not even smack them, just win against the bad teams.
Just win, yeah.
We won against Houston. It wasn't the way it probably a lot of fans, including myself, wanted it to be won, but we won against Houston. We
should have won that game by 3 scores.
We should have if there was a little better offensive play calling. Yo, Jack Anderson, I know that man was crying when he got home, bro.
Bro, Dable.
He had a tough day at the office.
Yeah,
it's funny though, cause Dable was mad for so long, but like so was I. Like I was still pissed about it. Like 15 minutes later, like.
Shout out to student of the game and Hazelnut in the chat, and Ligma says, "Bruh, we're going to the Super Bowl, not the Pro Bowl." Listen, we'll see. Nova, let me get your next. Go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say let me get your next thought because there is actually a little bit of a line tonight. I'm a little bit excited.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, if the Giants, you know, we're all expecting to make the playoffs and stuff, but like, what are your guys' like realistic expectations for the playoffs? Like, do you think this team actually has it in them to make even a little bit of a run? For me, it's very like, it really depends on that first wild card matchup they end up getting, and I know like a lot of people are like, oh, please give us the Buccaneers so we can send Brady home, and it's like they're still struggling now, but like, we don't know because they have looked better the past 2 games, and it's like if they start clicking again, like they have the weapons on offense that they can.
Brady is 2-0 since the divorce, guys.
Yeah, he's 2-0. Yo, and Giselle already moved on.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been moved on, bro. That happened a long time ago.
Yeah, that's her jiu-jitsu trainer, bro. Come on now. Anybody would
tough for Tommy.
Anyway, I'm gonna agree with you, Nova, and I'm gonna say it all comes down to matchups. If we get favorable matchups, we could go as far as the 2000s Giants, and that was make a Super Bowl, but we ended up losing to the better opponent.
Get killed by the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean it all comes down to matchups. What do you say, Nate?
Listen, this is the beauty of the football postseason, is that it's not like baseball where it's a 7-game set. It's one game. It's one game. And there is not a single team in the NFC that I think the Giants have no chance to win one game against. Would we be favorites? No. Would I pick us to beat the Vikings or the Eagles right now? No, probably not. But could we? Absolutely. So if you want to say what are the odds, that's a different conversation. But what can we do? We could make a run. You know, this is a very weak NFC. It's a very weak year. So anything is possible. This is a team that looks like it wants to play. This is a team that's beating good teams. You know, we're doing everything we could be asked to do. This is a team that's only getting better. And we haven't played our best football yet. So if we get hot at the right time, if we play a couple of good games, you never know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nova, thank you so much for calling, man. I appreciate the support. Problem, you in here week in, week out, bro. Have a good one.
Yeah, no doubt. You too.
Next up, we got the #1 Kenny Golladay fan. Now, last time this man called in, he told me Kenny Golladay was going to go for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns in the second half of the season. Okay?
Kush, before you bring him in, listen, right now, in this moment in time, I don't know who it is that Kush is talking about. I was not here for that conversation. But just know, whoever you are that's about to get brought on stream, you hurt me. You hurt me deep. Okay, go ahead.
Remember the stats, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. What up, Toba? How you doing? And shout out for wearing my Xavier McKinney shirt. Y'all support the Hub. Go grab that shirt or this shirt.
The Hub merch on the store, bro.
Gotta get it. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for the false hope. But
pain.
We can get it done. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out. My ears are open.
We can still get it done. Kenny Golladay had 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Stop,
with 12 touchdowns with David Blau throwing him the ball. We have Danny Dimes. Why don't you if we just threw it to him every single time? Hear me out. I know you're shaking your head.
If we just threw it to him every time and lost every game, maybe he'd get some stats.
We had 2 targets. You can't just get it for 2 targets.
Oh, come on, bro.
Just throw the ball to him every time. He'll remember. He'll get back in peak form.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just throw the ball to him every time. We'll 3 and out every drive. It'll be great.
Toba, what are you going to do when he becomes Evan Ingram? Because all he's doing is dropping passes right now. But what about when he
becomes?
Yeah, because he's not full Evan Ingram form yet. He hasn't started tipping passes into interceptions yet.
Bro, he's coming off
what are you going to do when that starts happening?
He's coming off an injury.
His whole career is coming off an injury, bro. Come on.
But he caught 1,000 yards off.
The mental gymnastics going on here is beautiful, bro.
12 touchdowns. He can do it here with David Blau, guys. We have Daniel Jones.
I'm sorry to tell you that he is not that guy. The guy you're looking for is Isaiah Hodgins, probably.
That's true. That's true. He's him.
I did like him coming out of the draft. I'm happy with him.
But
Give Kenny Galladay one more chance, guys. That's all I ask.
He's had too many chances.
One more chance.
No more chances. No more chances. Please.
Just for me.
Enough. Enough is enough.
Just for me. One more
Toba,
chance.
I think you begged me for a chance like the last time you were on here.
Everybody deserves another chance.
He's had
No, that's just not true.
18 chances.
It's just not true. Everybody does not deserve another chance in life. That's not how it works. You only get so many
Did you at least
chances.
vote him in for the Pro Bowl?
No, what? Toba, did you vote for Saquon yet on the Pro Bowl brand? Did you vote for Andrew Thomas yet? Did you vote for Dexter Lawrence yet?
I only voted for Saquon on the runner back poll. I only voted for Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas on the tackle. Because I don't give a fuck about anyone else.
You don't care about Dexter?
Oh, of course I voted for Dexter and Leo. But I didn't vote for any other defensive tackle. I voted for or anyone who was in Giants blue.
Yeah, I was about to say, every single year I go to the Pro Bowl voting, I don't vote for any other players of any other team except for the Giants. And yeah,
so
I did vote in Jehovah too. No, I did not say that. I did not say that, Toba. It's okay.
Give him one more chance.
You're gonna grow to love Isaiah Hodgins.
No more
Toba.
chances.
You're gonna grow to love Isaiah Hodgins.
My man, the sooner you let it go, the sooner you'll feel better about it, okay? It's just the way it is.
I was watching that game, and that's kind of what I said. I'm like, Kenny Galladay is like dating a supermodel that cheats on you every day.
What? What kind of
such
analogy?
A wild analogy.
Hold on. You put so much into the relationship. You spend money. You spend time trying to make this shit work.
But what is Kenny Galladay putting into the team?
But you want it to work because it's a supermodel. So
right, but at least the supermodel is hot. Kenny Galladay isn't hot.
Had 1,000 yards.
Not with us. Not with us.
Oh man.
But come on, guys.
No, listen. The sooner you break up with the supermodel and the sooner you move on, the sooner you will feel better.
Yo,
it's okay.
Hazelnut.
Just let it go.
Yo, Hazelnut says young Dave Chappelle, bro. Yo. This is crazy.
That's weak. That's a weak resemblance to me.
Listen.
Come on, I don't look like Dave Chappelle.
Toba, you're gonna move a little bit more to your right so that your camera is centered.
Other direction.
Yeah, there it is. You're right. Bam. There you go. Now I'm actually glad that you're here. Is there any chance you go into the Lions game, bro, or not?
Probably not. School's kicking my ass right now.
My boy.
Relatable.
School got you in shambles?
Yeah, in shambles right now.
Come on, bro. Yo, you know, Ligma messaged me with the same thing, and I gave this man a little bit of a pep talk, bro.
Oh,
all right.
Please give him a pep talk on stream right now.
Listen,
I need to hear this.
You can't be a L mans, bro. All right. You gotta be a W mans, bro, and you got to get in there and hit those books and let your teacher know who the real boss is, bro. No subscriber of the hub is a L mans like that's gonna let school do them in like this. You got this, bro. Yeah, but the reason I asked is because the last giveaway I did for a fan was to you at the whatchamacallit. What was it again? At FanFest, and that's the shirt he's wearing right now. I'm actually surprised it fit because I think it was a size or two big, wasn't it? But yeah, it looks like it fit nicely.
It fits nice.
Yeah, so every time I'm gonna try and start this thing where it's like if anytime I'm at MetLife, I try and do a giveaway to a fan. So this time at MetLife Stadium, I'm gonna tell you what my idea is, and I'm gonna let you guys know if I actually get it. It will be my biggest giveaway yet by far. It will be an autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey. So if you guys are at MetLife and you could prove that you subscribe to me and you answer a couple questions correctly, you got an autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey coming your way. Like I said, I've been looking into this for months now, and I'm fortunate enough that I'd be getting to go to a Giants game for the second time this year, and I'm gonna try and make that happen. Let me get this super chat. Shout out to Entertainer for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says Kenny Galladay is like continuing to date a girl after she's cheating on you 100 times, thinking she's gonna change. What is yo? Somebody gotta explain to me where these analogies are coming from.
Bro, it's a perfect analogy.
Word, how?
It's like a car. It's like a Ferrari that breaks down all the time, but you keep spending money on fixing it and hoping it works, but it never works.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what the analogy is, we can all agree Kenny Golladay sucks. There you go.
Oh, if he
solved.
turns up on Sunday, what are you gonna do?
He's not gonna turn.
I'm gonna be very happy, and then I'll wake up. There you go.
Bro, come on, man. All right, but speaking of receivers, I saw this thing today that Odell was considering us in the Cowboys.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
And before I
We
answer
talked about
that,
this
I want to
briefly.
answer a question in the chat. Somebody said, "Is it a home or away jersey?" It's a home jersey, and it comes with a certificate of authentication, so you know it's not fake, and the signature and everything. So I should be getting it. You know, knock on wood. Please do not fail me, UPS. It should be delivered this Friday, which is gonna be more than enough time for me to get it to one of you lucky fans on Sunday, and I'm gonna make a post about it so more people know as well. With the Odell situation, go ahead, Nate, because I've talked about this so much on the channel already.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, Odell for us makes sense. I think it makes more sense next year, but it does make sense this year. And a lot of it seems to be there's drama in the past, and who the hell knows how far he's put that in the rearview mirror? Who really knows? Only he does. So that's kind of, as fans, we can't judge that. All we can do is hope. But I don't know if you saw the article about, it was in the New York Post. Someone was talking to Odell's high school coach, who Odell is still very, very close with. He took him to the Pro Bowl his first time he got selected for a Pro Bowl. He's a lifelong mentor, one of that kind of relationships. And his high school coach said it's between Dallas and New York. Flip a coin. He's leaning towards New York. Take that as you will. Take that with not a grain of salt, an entire shaker of salt.
I'm sorry, I
but-
just saw your message, Rob. Rob was like, add me to this. I'm guessing for the Kenny Golladay stuff, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, please go off.
Toba. I'm not even going to do my normal intro.
Oh,
Toba.
God.
Listen, man. I'm going to contact my doctor for you tomorrow, and I'm going to have him prescribe you some form of medication because apparently you may have suffered a head injury or something like that, because the fact that you think that Kenny Golladay still has something to offer. The guy, has anybody ever seen the show House? This man's
Yes.
walking around the
Yes.
facility with a fucking cane, okay? he ain't doing anything on the field. The guy missed a wide open pass that I could throw to, may she rest in peace, my dead grandmother, and she could have made that catch.
God, Rob.
Okay?
All right, bro, rest in peace. We need to chill.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Toba.
All right. You know, Darius Slayton made a comeback. You know, we were all down and out on Slayton. We wanted Slayton.
Darius
gone this
Slayton's
season.
25
And look
years
at him.
old.
And look at him. Kenny Golladay could do the same thing. Why not Kenny?
All right, can we be serious for a second?
Oh my
Let's be
Lord.
serious for a second. Kenny was never the same after that hip surgery, bro. All right?
100%.
Let's call it what it is. He hasn't been the same.
That's the physical. Why would they sign him to $72 million if he wasn't the same?
Because they were dumb.
Because it's Dave Gettleman.
They were dumb. And Joe Judge. Let's not act as if Joe Judge was not involved in this. This man had Golladay in prison for an entire weekend and somehow determined that after that very questionable hip surgery, he's good to go for the New York Giants.
I think if we get Odell, it could bring the best out of Kenny Golladay.
If we can get Odell, it's going to bring the best in Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah.
God.
And you know who
This
else?
fight is just so old.
And
at
you know
this
who
point.
else? Wandale Robinson. Listen, Odell is coming home. He is coming to the New York Giants. Listen, this is what irritates me with some Giants fans. Not you, anybody in here. But this is what irritates me. People are like, "What money? Where's this money coming from?" Listen,
He's going to be playing like 4 games.
if first exactly, he ain't playing a whole season. That's number one. Number two, you say you trust. I'm gonna take off my glasses.
Yo, wait,
He
I'm
can't
sorry,
even do
bro.
it.
Rob, I'm
Rob's
sorry.
so shaken up. He can't
Somebody,
even do it.
Mike
Bro,
just
because it's
Mike just
like-
came at you in the
because,
chat, bro. You're gonna take that personally? Me? I wouldn't take that.
Yo, bro. Mike's starting shit.
Rob, are you okay?
Hey, Mike. Oh, like I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read. Yo, Mike, listen. Come at me, bro. Okay. No, we're gonna take AR-15. But the bottom line is, if we say that we trust our GM, if the GM didn't think it was possible, and Odell didn't think that it could get done, do you really think he'd be choosing us right now as his top two? Do you think that Joe Shane and them would even be still involved? No. He's only going to be playing, 4 regular season games and postseason? That's minimal money. That's what? $1.5 million, $2 million at most? At most, maybe? And that's even depending on how many games that we play in the postseason. Whether it's 1 or 2 or if we go on a miracle run, who knows? Or we go to the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills.
I saw, was that you that put that in the chat earlier? I saw somebody said Super Bowl 57, Bills versus Giants.
I called that. I called that I called that probably 4 weeks ago. I said, wouldn't it be something if it was the Bills versus the Giants, Daves versus Allen, teacher versus student? Can you fucking imagine?
Rematch of what was that, 20 or 25?
90. 1990.
That was 25 then?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. I actually want
what Super Bowl are we going to right now? What is it, 57?
Yeah.
What is it, 22 years in the making. No, 32 years.
32.
32 years later, the rematch. Dayballs versus the Allinator.
The what? All right.
The Allinator.
Listen, I got a couple other people that I need to get in here because they've been waiting for a minute. Toba, I love you, man. Let me get your last thought before I pop you out.
All right. I just want a little bet with you, if that's okay.
If it's regarding Kenny Golladay, I'll take any bet any day.
All right. If Kenny Golladay catches a touchdown this season, I get to co-host whatever post game he does it with you. And
you got a deal. You don't even need to say anything else.
If Kenny Golladay doesn't catch a touchdown, I'll become a member to your channel.
You got a deal, bro. You didn't even need to add that second part.
It's on YouTube, so you can't retract your statement. You're gonna have to let me come on your thing, and I get to say whatever I want.
Hey, Toba. When OBJ comes to the Giants, both David Sills and Kenny Golladay will be riding the Pine Pony.
That's not
I'm sorry. Is Kenny Golladay not already?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, but this time he won't even be dressing.
Chance. Everyone deserves another chance.
Toba, thank you so much, man. Have a good one, bro.
Thank you, guys. I had fun talking to you guys. Thank you for.
I always have fun talking to you, man.
Thank you for tolerating me for a while I was on the stream, guys. Appreciate
No problem.
it. Have a good night, y'all.
Peace. Before I pop on the next person, yo, the whole point of this stream, y'all, the Just Chillin' show, is for y'all to have the stage. There's no need to thank me. This is for you guys, the fans. Next up, we got MIT. What up, man? How you doing, bro? With the sheriff on him. Hold up.
Whoa.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
Can't complain.
Did you hear what our young fan was saying just now?
Yeah.
I think it's only fitting that he was saying that, and this man's wearing a sheriff. He's gonna go arrest him for.
I thought eventually, honestly, Kenny was gonna get his shit together, and but watching film, I think he's just done. He don't fit the scheme. He's mentally out of it, and he looked like he's 40 years old trying to run the routes. I just think he's done. As far as I believe y'all were talking about, can the Giants make a playoff run? I think they can. I don't think they opened up the passing game yet. They've just been running the ball. I think with him and Kafka, they scheme these receivers wide open. And once we get Neal back, we get Lemieux back, we get Gredison back, when them guys really come back, they can finally pass block. I mean, the line they have now, they can run block. They can't really pass block. and then we get Mellinger back, I think we can make a run. The NFC is not strong this year. Anybody can beat anybody right now in the NFC. Like he just said, it's not like we're in the AFC where they got 4 big dogs. The NFC right now is wide open. I mean, look at the NFC East right now. Washington can beat us. Dallas can beat us. We can beat Dallas. We can beat Eagles. It's like, it's at this point, it's who's the hottest team and who has the less amount of injuries right now. So hopefully we don't have no injuries and we getting healthy. And in a couple weeks, I think we can roll in the playoffs and we can run the ball. So we should be fine in the playoffs. And as far as the Pro Bowlers I got Dexter Lawrence, Saquon, and Andrew Thomas. That's like the guys that really.
That should be the main 3 for sure.
Yeah, everybody else is debatable. But them 3 really have made impacts on the team. If any of them guys go down, besides Jones, but Jones not a Pro Bowler, but besides Jones, if any of them guys go down, we're gonna definitely feel it. Especially if Andrew Thomas go down, that's gonna destroy everything. But those are guys. Those are my 3 Pro Bowlers I think really, really deserve it. Everybody else is on the borderline that you named. And that's it, fellas. Keep up the great show. I'll log off and just continue to hear.
Hey, I appreciate it as usual, man. Thank you for taking the time to call in, bro. Always love talking to you, man.
All right, bro.
Now, even though he had to pop out, we could definitely go off of what he was saying. Rob, since you just popped in, go ahead, give me your Pro Bowlers, and then we'll talk about what he said about potentially making a playoff run.
Yeah, I mean, Pro Bowlers: Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Barkley. I mean, that's if Bellinger didn't get hurt, I would have said Bellinger. Maybe the way he was playing, maybe he would have been able to sneak in. I would say probably Julian Love and Adoree Jackson. Those would be my guys that I think could make the Pro Bowl for the Giants. In regards to the playoffs, look, right now, I think we are in a very, very good position. The Dallas Cowboys have not been able to stop the run.
I'm sorry, Nate. Can you mute your mic? I think that's your AC coming through or background noise or something. Thank you. Yeah.
I think when it comes down to, like, right now, the Cowboys they haven't been able to stop the run. I think I think Aaron Jones went for like $130 or $140 on Sunday.
Is that better, Kush?
Yeah, way better.
It was a fan. Sorry.
The Eagles, they just got ran all over by Washington last night. These guys are not, as far as the defenses, it kind of seems like they're imploding a little bit. Like Dallas hasn't been getting after the quarterback the way they were the first few weeks. That's kind of calmed down. For some reason, they're starting to do stupid shit, like having Micah Parsons at middle linebacker the whole game against Green Bay. Like, for what purpose does that
Let them
serve?
continue that.
Of course. No, listen, great idea. Dan Quinn, 100%. Keep that man right there. I have no problem. Actually, when you have him against us, just have him go up against Andrew Thomas so Andrew Thomas can make him look like a little baby out there, because Mark Lewinsky and John Feliciano and whoever we got at left guard, they won't be able to handle that man. Just let him go up against Andrew Thomas. But, I mean, the defenses are not being able to stop the run. And what are our strengths? Running the football. And so I think this is really playing into a part where going into these games, we may have the upper hand because I think we're top 5 in the league in time of possession so far this season. We are the number 4 running attack in the National Football League. And as far as when it comes to turning the football over, we turn the ball over the least amount as a football team in the National Football League. So we don't turn the football over, we control the time of possession, and we run the football. To me, those are going to be the recipes for keeping Jalen and for keeping Dak off the field. And the thing is that right now, when you look at the Eagles, it doesn't look like they've been able to run the football well the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They haven't been doing a great job of that. now you're going to have to rely on the pass. So when you don't have a very good balanced attack, like that's going to play a major fact in it. So I think this guy Isaiah Hodgins, man, I think he came on and he made plays. He had 3 catches for 41 yards. Already has more receiving yards than Kenny Golladay had in catches than Kenny Golladay had this whole season. I like this kid. Wan'Dale Robinson, you can get him in the mix. There's word that Daniel Bellinger is probably going to be back this week, and he may be eligible to play this week against Detroit. We'll see how that goes. More than likely, he'll probably be back for the Dallas game. So I'm excited, man. I really think if you add a guy like OBJ and you have this kid, Isaiah Hodgins, starting to get involved, Wan'Dale, that's going to open up things for Wan'Dale. You get Bellinger back. Now you're taking more pressure off of Barkley. I mean, sky's the limit. And because the NFC East nobody in the NFC East really intimidates me at all. They really, really don't. And the reason why is I trust my defense and mainly my defensive coordinator to keep us in every single game. Even if we went up against the Vikings, I think we would be in that game because I don't think that the Vikings would be able to just do whatever they want to do. I think that our defense would keep it close, and I think we'd keep the ball away from them. Point blank and simple. Nobody in the NFC really scares me. That doesn't mean we can't lose, but they don't intimidate me at all.
Fair enough.
A lot of good points made there, Rob. My only question to you is: you say nobody necessarily scares you in the NFC East. I kind of agree with you. I have the same mindset. Nobody scares me, but at the same time, I'm not taking anybody lightly. It's like the most perfect stay in the middle, riding the fence thing. But that's just sort of the team that we are, where I think that's the mindset we have to get. And like Dable says, he says one game at a time. But I got to see it in the I can't remember if it was the Sights and Sounds video or the highlights video, whatever it was the Giants posted today or yesterday. Even
it might have
during
been,
the plays,
the Dayball show. The Dayball show.
No, it was like during the game. It's like even during the game, he's saying one play at a time. Darius Slayton literally got a 54-yard touchdown, and he's like one play at a time. I'm like, you're not gonna dap him up, give him congratulations. No, he's just like one play at a time. Is the mentality of the team.
I like the fact though, after that play happened, and you know what? Here's the thing with that play, real quick. I want to talk about that. I give Daniel Jones kudos on that play because that was a hell of a play.
It was a great throw off his back foot with pressure on his face.
By Daniel Jones. When you saw it today, I forgot who posted it. They did it was Sean O'Hara was going over it in the All 22. When you look at it from the back, Barkley did a great job taking the blitzer that was coming in untouched on the left side, and Feliciano was late getting out of his stance, and Glowinski just got beat, and he's got 2 guys barreling at him. He took a step to his left and back, and he was getting hit with a guy on him. He hadn't even released the ball yet, and literally just looked at Darius Slayton and chucked it. Now, obviously, it was a 2.5-yard pass, but air yards, it was like 13 or 14 yards, and Darius Slayton made an even better catch and run after he made the play. But a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, lucky play. Dude, he was like that. When you look at it from that angle, what a freaking play that he made to be able to get that ball there. And right after that play, who was Brian Daboll looking at? Daniel Jones. And he went like this to him. Good fucking job. Now, again, that doesn't mean he's giving him a 6-year fucking deal. But, I think this kid is rubbing off on him just a little bit. Little bit. Rubbing off on them. Just a little bit. He don't turn the ball over, dude. He don't turn the ball over.
That's big.
He doesn't make mistakes.
And specifically in this game, he was only called upon on 3rd and longs, which is living on the edge, and he was coming through when we were living on the edge.
Dude, he's converted. I think I saw a stat today. He's converted more 3rd and 7 or greater than he has 3rd and shorts. He can
that
convert.
Seems about right for this team, honestly.
He did it. He converted a 3rd and 14 and a 3rd and 11 in the same drive. Again, what was that? Was that against? I think that was against Jacksonville. Like in the same drive, he converted a 3rd and 14 and a 3rd and 11. Like, listen, he's not the flashiest. He's not gonna, zigzag and go this way and then go this way and then, look over here and throw it that way. He's not gonna, but he doesn't turn the football over. He's not gonna put you in a bad position. He's not gonna try to overdo it. He's just literally, okay, this is what you're giving me? Perfect. Second, now I'll take the 2nd and 5. I'll take the 2nd and 6. I'll take the 2nd and 4. Really, the only times that we've had a 2nd and long is due to a penalty. It hasn't been due to the fact that he's made a bad decision or taken a sack. You know what I mean? Like, he'll dump it off. Dude, he's playing very, very elite, efficient football right now.
Yeah, he's playing solid ball this year.
Let me get the next caller on here. And David says, how much I want that jersey. LT is the defensive GOAT. I'm sure a lot of people's going to want that jersey because it was hard to find one that was a home jersey and that they had an autograph for something that wouldn't completely make me go broke. Shout out to CJ. What's up, man? How you doing?
Kush, Chris Kringle, and newcomer on the block. How are you guys doing?
I'm guessing Nate is Chris Kringle. Using my context clues here.
I didn't hear a single word of what he said, so the first thing I just heard was, I'm assuming Nate is Chris Kringle, and I'm very intrigued to know what I just missed.
Kush, Chris Kringle, and the new guy who I'm just now meeting.
Well, what's going on with you, brother?
New guy, introduce yourself.
My name is Rob.
Rob.
A.K.A. R0B. A.K.A. Space Master. A.K.A. the YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch People's Champ.
A.K.A. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's little brother.
A.K.A. the OBJ to New York advocate.
That's me, but go ahead.
Hey, man,
I mean, we could talk about that later.
It's CJ. CJ Talk Sports and the occasional CJ rant on YouTube. So, yeah, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, just taking an overview on what you guys have been discussing throughout this entire show. Again, at this point, I am pretty much ready to strap Kenny Galladay up to this rocket and send him off to Neptune. I can't believe I had a 5% inkling that he was going to be anything but garbage. Coming off of this bye week, and so again, at this point, I truly believe after having this discussion with one of my brothers, I truly believe that if Odell was going to sign anywhere to us, that it would have happened by now. Like, I don't think a game against the Packers, or like if he when the Odell news first broke out, I listed 5 potential teams that I think he will most likely go to. Tampa was one of them, but it looks like they got their act together. Baltimore, but I haven't seen any inkling about Odell going to Baltimore this year. I had us third for all the reasons that you guys have pointed out. And then Dallas and Kansas City, I thought were highly likely possibilities. If he was going to sign with Dallas, I think he would have done so by now. Like, I don't think them losing to the Packers, or even if they had won against Green Bay, it would have done anything. I think it's just a matter of, does Joe Shane want to pay not a heavy price on him, but a fairly decent enough price to bring him in, and more importantly, what exactly the deal is going to look like. Like, I don't think we're in the position to give Odell a multi-year deal as of right now. But if things go well, for us, assuming he signs here for the remainder of the season, and if we miraculously make a postseason run, then I could see us potentially signing him to a multi-year deal. But um, overall, I I'm at this point I'm about 70% confident that we're gonna be his likely destination. And as far as the overview of us for the remainder of the season, I don't know if I consider this a hot take, but basing this off us landing Odell, depending on how the playoff matchups work, I think it's fairly plausible that the Giants end in the conference championship. My only caveat, my only disagreement with you guys is as far as the NFC as a whole, the Niners are the one team in the NFC playoffs that I would not want to play, because they're essentially us, but far more experience and a far deeper roster than we have right now. We both have, at least as of right now, A+ level coaches. We both have solid, complementary, if not average, receiving core. Um, meh at quarterback. Yes, I love Daniel to pieces, but he's still a slightly above average quarterback. And again, just the whole experience and all, the Niners are just a far deeper team, team than us right now. Um, and so again, I don't want to get overly optimistic or pessimistic as far as my expectations for us, but I think if the Giants were going to show their true colors, it would have happened against the Texans. And Nate, I agree with you. That game should have easily have been like 38-20 going away.
So let me cut you off before you get a little bit to rambling real quick, because I feel like I get where you're getting to, CJ. With the 49ers, the comparison, I could see it. Run first team, a little bit of a game manager. The 49ers do, however, have an absolute weapon in Deebo Samuel at wide receiver 1/running back 2, or whatever you want to call it. And then they use multiple running backs. As you saw, Elijah Mitchell is healthy again, it looks like. And, of course, they have a pretty good defense. I agree with that, but I don't necessarily agree with that's the team that I don't want to see in the playoffs. I'm once again riding the fence heavy. I know a lot of people are not going to like this. I'm not taking any team lightly, but I'm also not scared of any team. And I said this before back in week 7. The Giants are a team that can legitimately punch with the best of them, so to speak, on any given day of the week. Rob, what do you think?
I think so too, man. I think that when it comes to the NFC right now and all of the teams that are potentially involved, I honestly think that we have the best coaching staff in the NFC currently right now that are in the mix to go to the postseason. And that's over Nick Sirianni, that's over Kyle Shanahan, because I feel that Brian Daboll is not going to leave any stone unturned. I think that he's going to make sure that Wink is on the same page as he is, and he's going to figure out exactly what Wink is doing. He's going to get with Mike Kafka. He's going to get with Tom, the special teams guy. He's literally going to get with every single coach, and it's not to the point where they're going to have a literal plan for every single situation that they could potentially get into. The only coach that I've seen cover more situational football than Brian Daboll is Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick is the master.
That's a very big statement.
And Bill Belichick is a master at practicing, situational football. I am not saying that Brian Daboll is Bill Belichick, but Brian Daboll really says that he goes over every situation. They cover different situations. I think that Brian Daboll would have this team absolutely 100% ready to go. And I even would trust him at the halftime adjustments that if they came out with a game plan and things weren't going exactly the way that they wanted, but they were still within the fight, that even at halftime, these coaches would make the right adjustments. Brian Daboll would make the right adjustments. Look, prime example. In the first half of the game that we just played, that offense had a lot of penalties. We had a false start by Tyree Phillips. We had a false start by Anderson. There was a bunch of like stupid penalties that were done. In the entire second half, the offense never had another penalty the entire second half of that football game. He got it right. He rammed it home. He made the adjustment. Now, defensively, they had some, I think there was like a face mask or like a contact or whatnot. But from an offensive standpoint, they cleaned that shit up and he got it right. And because you can't be in a situation where you hurt yourself, especially when you're playing a team that, you know, if you're going up against the Bucks or the Eagles, you cannot allow yourself to beat yourself when you're going up against these teams. And I don't think that Brian Daboll would let that happen. So I trust our coaching staff against any NFC coaching staff. And I'll even go as far as to say this. The only team that would scare me, let's just say we were to go to the Super Bowl, the only team that would scare me that we would play against is Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to address there, but I think the thing I'll pick out to just give my statement on is I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is a team that could beat anybody, could lose to anybody. So if we're looking at teams in the NFL, obviously there's some that are better than others, but I don't think there's any world beaters in the league this year. Chiefs are a great team. Bills are a strong team. Vikings are a strong team. None of them are world beaters to me. So I think if we're the Giants and we're looking at our playoff matchups, are there teams we'd rather not face? Sure. But is there anyone that we're definitely terrified to see? Is there anyone that we're going to see in the first round and say, well, good season? No, I don't think so. I think the 49ers are one of the stronger teams in the NFC, and their record doesn't reflect that. But, yeah, good team.
Let me get there's quite a few comments I need to get, actually. First off, Ligma says, CJ looks like Stokely Hathaway from AEW. then Tommy... No, go ahead. Get your quick comment in.
No, I was just gonna say I'm a bit more tan than him, and plus I don't have that high pitch of a voice, but I'll take it. It's the glasses.
Tommy has a whole bunch of nicknames there. He says Kung Fu Panda Dex, Lionheart Leo, Tib Ward Zimenez, McKinney, Belton Love. I think he's just listing Super Bowl run from worst to first. Hopefully we can make it happen. The Bengals had a Super Bowl run. They didn't win it, but they went worst to first last year. David says, send Galladay to the practice squad. Can we do that? Is that a thing?
Can we?
Excuse me.
I don't technically believe we can with his contract, but listen,
they could put him on IR.
Technically, but if Galladay is going to be anywhere except the active roster, he's going to be cut. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And I think we're just going to kind of be stuck with him until the end of the offseason because we just don't want to take that dead cap right now. So we'll wait, and eventually he'll pack his bags and hit the road.
Because I think if they cut him now, they lose more money.
Right.
If they cut him now.
If they cut him now, they lose $7 million against our cap this year. I don't know what that number is for the remainder of the year, how that's structured week to week. But if they had cut him in the beginning of this year, it would have been $7 million for the year against the cap, in dead cap. So we just got to wait till the offseason, and then we'll
because I don't know
excise that tumor.
Rob, I was going to say, just hold on to your question real quick because I want to get through a little bit of these comments, and I'll get to your question right away, bro. Wolves says, thoughts on trading Galladay for $15 Buffalo Wild Wings gift card. I'll do it, and shout out to Wolves.
Who the hell would give us $15 in Buffalo Wild Wings for Kenny Galladay?
I'll trade you my back
Gotta be a team.
Did Gettleman get a job again? Jesus.
F-Star says, what do you think the deal OBJ gets from the Giants would look like? I don't know what the deal would look like, but like I said, like Rob said, like Nate said, for this year at least, it's not going to be too much because he's only going to play just a handful of games. The year is already more than halfway done. Let me scroll down a little bit. Flex says, trading Kenny Galladay ASAP will take a 6th or 7th draft pick, I'd take anything. I'd take, like I said, a
You're not
$15
getting
Buffalo
anything
Wild
for
Wing.
him.
I'd take a
gift
Big
card.
Mac meal at this point.
Yuvraj
I
says my
would
prediction.
give something away to get rid of Galladay.
Yuvraj says my prediction: we will be the second seed, defeat the Seahawks in the wild card, defeat the 49ers in the divisional, defeat the the Bucks in the conference championship, and defeat the Bills in the Super Bowl. I'm with you. I'm with you. I am with you.
What seed are we right now? Are we the 5th seed?
Yeah.
Right now?
At the moment.
5th, yeah.
This is a big weekend, man. We have an ability, if we win and the Cowboys lose, 2-game lead.
Yeah.
This is a huge weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
says-
listen, we're in the thick of the playoff hunt. Every weekend's a big weekend.
Tommy says, once Joe and company walked in the building, Joe Shane, our dynasty and epic Super Bowl run started, and every step of the way had been flawless with practice squad players. No one does more with less. Very nicely put. And Rob, let's get that question you had on your mind.
So I don't know if y'all talked about it a little bit, but what do y'all think about the contract extension talks with Saquon Barkley? Rumors that he's looking for, CMC money, which is like $16 million. But the fact that they were engaging in the talks is good. Obviously, they didn't get a deal done, but I think it was more of a gauging interaction. Like, hey, this is kind of where we're thinking. What are you thinking? These are our plans, and stuff like that. Your guys' thoughts, because I would be totally okay with a 4-year, $15 million a year deal with, say, $40 million guaranteed.
I don't know. I don't know if you
fine with
came
that.
to the right place, because me and Nate are probably the biggest Saquon fans. So I mean, like, if he's
I'll
asking
say
for
this.
money, I'm giving him money.
I'll give my piece here. If we're talking about what happened during the bye week, I don't think it's really an indicator of anything. I think exactly what happened is exactly what was bound to happen. They weren't just going to completely ignore each other during the year, so they were bound to negotiate.
Of course.
And at the same time, there was no way they were going to reach a deal during midseason when this is the situation. The gravity of Saquon's contract situation can't be ignored. He's had all this drama leading up to it. Three different coaches. And then he's got his second GM in here, not the one that picked him. He's coming back from different injuries. He's playing at a high level, but at the same time, there's sustainability questions. So in general, I don't think there was ever really a chance that the contract got done in season. I think this was kind of just always what was going to happen, and we're going to have to wait and see in the offseason. If you're asking me, I look at the Giants, and I say, at this point, I want Saquon back. I do. I want him back so badly. I want nothing more than Saquon to be a Giant for life. But at the same time, Joe Shane is the man. We've all accepted that we have to buckle into this roller coaster and see where it takes us and enjoy the ride. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of complex decisions that are going to get made this offseason. The cap is shifting. The roster is shifting. A lot of resources are going to get moved around. One of those resources is Saquon Barkley's contract and or lack thereof. So if we're looking at this offseason, I think we kind of just, and I know this is going to sound like coach speak, we just have to trust the process. I hope Saquon's a Giant. If he is, I'll be stoked. If he's not, we're just going to have to see where this offseason takes us.
I think it's going to be interesting because I saw somewhere where we projected after the Galladay cut, I think, to have like 71 or like $74 million
it's a lot of
in
money.
available.
I calculated this out, actually. So I went on Spot Track.
Is this including the new TV deal that's supposed to happen as well?
So I called it for what the projected cap is for next year right now, because I don't feel good about projecting fake numbers. I'll leave that to the economists. But for me, I went on Spot Track. I used their roster management tool. I invite y'all out there watching and listening to go and do it yourself. It's really helpful. It's easy. You can play around, see how different scenarios line up. But if you get rid of Galladay and then do some fat trimming on the roster, just a couple of housekeeping details here and there, you end up with, on Spot Track, 60 mil, give or take, depending on a couple of key decisions. And then you're looking at the idea that cap space isn't real in the NFL, how much money you're going to be able to move into bonuses versus cap hits. It's the whole thing. But basically, we can count on having about 60 million at least next year once we cut Galladay. Then there are other big decisions to make. And then after this year, we have unlimited money, it seems like, for the next 3. So we're in a good spot.
Got you. CJ had to dip out, and I actually got to end the stream soon, but I'll first end it with this Tiki and Tierney clip that I came across, and the caption of the Tiki and Tierney clip is, did Julian Love say something about OBJ without saying something? So let me see if I could just sort of share my screen here. This is gonna be kind of weird because I'm doing it
weird.
I'm doing it through like several streaming software, so you guys could see it, right? They can see it. My only question is, I just realized, did I share sound? So if I press play, can you guys hear this?
I think we all think that
Yep.
a little infusion of
Cool.
offense would
Let's
not
hear
be a
what they say.
bad thing. And a former Giants name is all over the news. Odell Beckham Jr. You guys talk about this, I'm sure. Do you think it's possible? Do you think you need him?
You know, he was just missed him. I never had a chance to play with Odell. It was the year before I got there. You know, I think for sure you want to look at anybody you could bring. I know Joe Shane and, you know, Dave's and all the upstairs guys look at potential fits, and he obviously has a relationship with a lot of people in the building. But, you know, I'm not sure what the deal with that is. I'm not even sure if he's able to play this year. And so there goes all that stuff into effect. But, yeah, I mean, that's an upstairs decision. You know, you want to see us have success in bringing guys who can help, no doubt, but also we can't, you know, bank on short-term success. We got to still build for a future.
Yeah, but when you see and you know his history, would it make sense? You know what I mean?
I think what I've heard in this building, and I've obviously just been in this building, thankfully,
Yeah.
is that you really appreciate stuff after it's gone, and you really appreciate being in this Giants building after you're not anymore. Like the people, the community, yeah, everybody has passion and it's a high pressure, but they do it right. I mean, in the building, you just get treated a certain way, and you know, it's one of the founding, you know, fathers of the league. The New York Giants are.
Yep.
And so, I think that goes into effect. And so, yeah, I know in his heart he realized kind of what he had here. I'm sure. And so I think that's kind of what's at play here.
So what you're
All right. Any thoughts on that before we go out?
I mean,
Don't make me hope,
go ahead,
Julian.
Go ahead, Nate, you go first.
I would
hope.
say that's the opposite of hope with the answers he was given.
I think you could take it a couple of ways. Number one, Julian obviously knows nothing about the situation, or if he does, he's not going to tell us, which,
Yeah, no
fair
clue.
enough. But when he says things like that, and he says the things about missing what you don't have in the Giants building and the culture and the passion in the fan base and the history of it, and then you think about where Odell went, Cleveland, and how that building gets run.
That's a
And you
shit
think
show.
about how Odell talks about the things he misses in the past, because I remember when Landon Collins was asked about why he left, and he made a point of saying it wasn't the team, it wasn't the fans, it was just Dave Gettleman, and Odell quote tweeted him on it. So I think there's something there, obviously. Who knows if it gets done? Again, I said it earlier when we talked about it. I'm not going to expect anything with Odell. I'm just going to hope.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I'm gonna second it. Look, the fact that the Giants are still within these. Look, everybody says that Odell is about his money, right? I don't think that he's playing, and I hear some people saying, "Oh, well, he could be using the Giants as leverage to try to get more money from the Cowboys and all this bullshit." But when I read that article from the New York Post, and anybody who hasn't read it, go to the New York Post. Ian Connors put out a really, really good article. Read the whole article. Talks about his strength, on how he strengthened his upper body, and he's a lot stronger in his upper body than he has been since he came into the league. How he's grown up, how he's proud to be a father. He's matured, this and that. At the end of the day, like, Odell Beckham don't need to manipulate anybody. It's OBJ. Like, he really, like, he could play, but he don't need to use other teams to get more money. it's OBJ. Like, you saw what he was able to do and the impact that he had on the Los Angeles Rams last year when he got there. And you saw what he was able to do in Cleveland when Cleveland was a shell of themselves until he got there, until Baker Mayfield took a major shit on his career. So, look, it's OBJ. When it comes down to this, I don't think that he would, especially with the way that Stewart, his high school football coach, spoke about how OBJ respects New York, misses New York, and how he felt about the Giants. I don't think that he would be using the Giants as leverage. You can call me a fan, you can call me a homer, call me fucking Homer Simpson for all I care. I really don't give a fuck. But I think there is something there. And I don't think that, with all due respect to how we want to give Joe Shane praise, if they didn't think that they could get something done, they would not still be in the race. Mm-hmm. They would have been out already. And if Odell Beckham didn't think that there was a possibility, he would not have us as one of his top teams. And at this point, his two choices.
With all that being said, I'm going to have to close it out, guys. Going for 136 here. Before I do, make sure you check out R0B on Twitter. He hosts tons of spaces. I don't know how he has the energy to do it. Also, check him out on Twitch and on YouTube. Nate is at FAU, and that's really all I can say about that.
Yeah, I'll get my act together at some point,
FAU, man.
The dining hall is absolutely elite. The dining hall slaps, bro.
Yeah?
It's incredible.
Any college football games you got to go to this year?
Not yet, no. I went to the Giants game in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
That has been my football game so far, but we'll see. We'll see what opportunities come up.
And, of course, shout out to all you guys in the chat. We had about 52 people peaked tonight. I really appreciate the support. Just you showing up and being here is tons of support. Like I said earlier, this podcast is for y'all. That's why the link is always pinned whenever I go live, for any of you to come on and share your thoughts. And before I go, two last messages. Make sure you go to the Pro Bowl vote website on NFL.com and vote for your favorite Giants. We need to get at least three people in. That is Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence, Saquon Barkley. I personally also voted for Adoree Jackson to get in there, and Julian Love. You know, get who you want to get in. We deserve a little bit of praise tonight. And like I said, this Sunday at the Lions game where I'll be doing a very special big giveaway. Autographed Lawrence Taylor jersey, guys. So if you're there, let me know, and I'll give you a chance to go ahead and win that. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you.